Hey everyone, Mario again, coming at you with another video in the Streak-A-Thon. Been a while since I've recorded one, been a little busy, got a little lazy, and time just went by, and it's a new year, so I'm like, might as well jump back on that horse and continue the series. Picking up where I left off, we're now on the 9th match in the streak. 2 years since the previous one. Taker was off in 2000 for taking some time off, recovering from an injury, and in the meanwhile, he came back and debuted as the American Badass. So this is his first Mania match as Biker Taker. It took place on April 1st, 2001 in Houston, Texas, in the Reliant Astrodome in front of 67,925 people. And this was his first of 3 matches against Triple H. Now this feud started when Triple H came out on an episode of SmackDown and started ranting and raving on there. I am the game. I've beaten everyone else. There's no one else out there for me to beat. Which Triple H, being the heel he is almost correct. Taker comes out, takes umbrage with it, and it just goes from there. As the video package on WrestleMania shows, at one point Triple H got a hold of Taker's bike and destroyed it. At another point, Taker got jumped by Triple H. Taker was going after him, and Steph got a restraining order against him where he had to stay 25 feet away from Stephanie. But Taker had a loophole. He sent Kane after her. He captured Stephanie and was threatening to throw her off a ledge unless Commissioner Regal made a match between the two of them, which he did, which I just love this, like, Kane, set her down here! alright, I'll give you the match. Just the way that scene played out, it kind of reminds me of the dynamic in the scene years later when Heyman was in The Sharpshooter from Chris Benoit. That same dynamic. Chris! Before the match, Motorhead performed live for Triple H's entrance, and I'll say the performance was decent. Lemmy messed up the lyrics a little bit, but his vocals were still pretty good. The music was good, so it was a decent performance. You could tell they hadn't played this song live a lot before, so that's what kind of ruined it. Then Taker came out, and immediately after he gets off his bike and into the ring, he goes after Triple H and takes it to him. And before I get too far into this, I will say that this match is a decent match. I don't know where I'd say it'd rank in the entire chronological order of the streak, but it is a pretty good one, and it is a fight. I mean, like I say, Taker takes it to Triple H once they get to ringside. Once they get into the ring, he goes for old school at one point, which Triple H counters into what looks kind of like a modified arm drag. That's even what I have down here in my notes. And a little bit after this, Triple H gets a sledgehammer and attempts to use it, but the ref takes it from him, and as he's disposing of it outside, Taker reverses Triple H's assault and catapults him inadvertently into the ref. Then Taker chokeslams him and gets a near fall out of it. And then, of course, he's so mad after the fact that he clocks the ref. It's like, he's supposed to be the face in this feud, seemingly, and yet he goes after the ref like that. I guess it's like, slow count on me, will ya? After this, the pair fight into the crowd, and they make it up to a tech area. And as I put, if only they ran up to Kevin Dunn up there and Taker disposed of him, and be like, alright, you're gonna have to move the camera angle. Oh crap, they're coming this way. Out of my way, Kevin. We all know what Cornette would have been doing, like, oh yeah, send him to hell, goddammit. Double cheese, double mayo. As they're up there, Triple H takes a chair to Taker once he recovers a bit, but Taker eventually catches him by the throat when he's going for another shot, and he chokeslams him off the tech area. As they're saying to the concrete, but you can tell he doesn't land on the concrete when the camera switches angles. But I'll say the way that they built the suspense about what Triple H could have landed on, I'll give Kevin Dunn some credit there. He did build the suspense properly. When he does do correct camera shots, he does correct camera shots. It also gained a holy shit chant from the crowd, which Paul Heyman, which by the way the commentary for this match was done by JR and Paul Heyman, which they have a pretty good chemistry for it. Especially for this holy shit moment where Heyman was building up the ECW thing. Then Taker does something we don't really see him do that often. He did an elbow drop from the tech area down onto Triple H. This led to a brawl back towards the ring, with Taker eventually hitting the tombstone, which I have to go back and watch all of his matches from this period, but if I remember right, I don't think he did the tombstone that often during this period, because this is when he introduced the last ride. So I think he was saving them for the big matches like this. Well, he goes for the pin, but there's no ref, because he's still knocked out cold. It's like, wow, Taker must have hit him hard, because that ref was down for a while. It's like, the refs can recover quickly if they want to, but when it's convenient for the flow of the match, they'll stay down like they got shot. Taker then goes for a last ride, but as he's brought up, Triple H nailed Taker in the face with the sledgehammer, which busted him open. And after the match ends, we see just how much color Taker got on this. I'm like, ooh, there's some good color. The ref goes to count, but Taker, showing his resiliency, he kicks out. Because you know what he says, you can't kill... You can't kill what's already dead. After this, Triple H takes Undertaker to the corner, do something nefarious, but before he can do anything, Taker counters it into a last ride for the pin and the win. So Triple H can, at this point, not say that he's beaten everyone, because he did not beat The Undertaker. And this took the streak up to 9-0. Pretty good American Badass Biker Taker Mania debut. And another good Undertaker match. Like I said, I don't know where I would rank this in the hierarchy. It's definitely one of his better ones, so I'd put it up there with, of the ones I've watched thus far, it's definitely up there with Taker versus Jake, Taker versus Kane, as some of the better ones. Because this is definitely where Taker was starting to be a more technically sound wrestler. I mean, the previous couple matches we saw a little bit of that, but this is definitely where he started to be more technically sound, and something we saw through his 2000s run, even though by that point he was back to the Dead Man Taker. But it's one of the things you get to appreciate from Undertaker as he got older, that he started to throw in more technical sounding thing, even though he kind of toned it down a little bit once he really got up there. But that's many matches ahead. Which now we come to an interesting WrestleMania match in the streak, because this is going to be the streak match that happened right before I got into wrestling.